Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Muscle Owl Talks. I'm with Michaela, just me and Michaela this week, and we thought we'd do a special episode for SMA Awareness Month. A lot of the conditions have days or weeks. This is a month, the whole August, to a condition, SMA, which has four types, three main types. It was only the other day.
It's arguably got more than I can count now, but that's besides the point.
There we go. It was only the other day, in fact, that I was reading over type 4.
Type 4 is more commonly known as adult onset.
Well, there we go. It's not a proper type. No, I'm joking.
Well, we call it type 4-3, but it is. And then there's technically a type 0.
Type 0?
5 and...
That sounds dangerous, type 0.
Type 0 is the most severe, yeah.
I can imagine.
It's like type 1 on
Type 1's bad enough.
Not that I mean that offensively, but it is like type 1. At the very worst end of the scale, we affectionately call type 0, so... And then there's the bulbers and the smarts and all the rest of them. So, yeah, there's more types of SMA than I can count.
Wow. Well, in fact, that's a good point to start on. The difference is of the nature of the condition. In fact, that would be an interesting point to start our SMA Awareness Month 2017 talk on. The differences in the conditions and in the types. I don't know. I always think, Michaela, you often say about how, in fact, maybe that's why Awareness Month is so important, because not enough people know about SMA or spinal muscular atrophy. I see posts and groups on Facebook with people thinking SMA is people saying SMA is not a baby formula or things like that, because there's whatever else. And I think, obviously, with my brother having Duchenne muscular dystrophy, me growing up many years of my childhood never knowing what Duchenne was, I can imagine it's the same for SMA. And I don't know, to what extent is it similar with the different types, with people often, I guess, I think that could be up and down, as you can say. Is there like the positive side, having the different types, so you can say, well, this is this sort, this is that sort, but then is there the negative of that, with everyone expecting things to go in a certain pattern, or,
Yeah, I think... I know type 2 the best, because that's where I am, and I'm probably dead in the middle of the road in that, and that I'm not really strong. I've had my fair share of chest infections. I probably tend to be a bit sicker than most people. I have a few unlucky traits, like my pancreas deciding to give up on me. That's normally seen in type 1s who can experience autonomic dysfunction, which is a nervous system issue, and it affects the nerves that happen automatically that we can't voluntarily control. So, yeah, I show sometimes that I shouldn't really show, but at the same time, I've got the benefit of being able to breathe on my own when I'm awake, and yeah, I've got a lot of benefits over type 1, but at the same time, probably type 1s have a few benefits over me, in that some of them are tracheostomies from their no age. They're just chipped straight away, and if they need surgery, it's significantly easier because they have a tracheostomy and they're ready to breathe for themselves. So a parent hearing me say that would be shock and horror, but it is the truth. We were talking the other day, there was talk of me needing possibly a surgery to replace my peg tube, or to give me a new one, and the debate's still up in the air as to whether that's needed, but I was saying, I just wouldn't go for the surgery. I'll stick a tube by my nose. And the person I was talking to said, well, why? Because I wouldn't survive the surgery. Like, it's so much more difficult for me than someone with a tracheostomy who's already ventilated. So there's that. And then you've got the type 3s who, while they're so much stronger than even I would be, even I am on probably the weaker side of type 3s that you would see, but many of them are able to walk for quite a considerable amount of time. Some of them only walk for a short period of time, but then when they go into the chair, they're much stronger than me. They look like, they make me look like I'm paralyzed. So they have that for them, but they also have the element of the psychological effect of coping with more of it at the time. I know quite a few type 3s who were able to walk until their spinal surgery, and that was it. Walking's over at that point. So, yeah, there are pros and cons to all of them. Those are the 3 main types that I know the most about. You've got conditions like SMART, which includes respiratory distress. You've got bulbar, which I really know absolutely nothing about. It's kind of coming to the fore now, and we're starting to understand it more, but again, my knowledge is limited. So there are pros and cons to every type of SMA.
And as we know, SMA, spinal muscular atrophy, is a form of muscular dystrophy. Obviously, it's how we met through Muscular Dystrophy UK here in the UK, that helps different types of muscular dystrophies. And I guess that's how everyone's connected through the community of different types of muscular dystrophies. Do you see, what are the big differences do you see between people with SMA or between the condition SMA and other types of muscular dystrophies? Do you see similarities? And also, I guess, how does the condition itself differ? Because obviously it's more linked to the neurons, the motor neurons, isn't it? Whereas muscular
let's just get
specifically muscles.
Yeah, let's just get technical. SMA, it was always historically thought that it primarily affected the anterior horn cells, which are a type of neuron located in the brainstem or in the upper spinal cord. So that was initially thought that was the only nerve it affected. There's some early mouse model research suggesting that actually affects nerve cells in the gut, as well as nerve cells in other places. It does affect some of the peripheral nerves. So some people have funny sensory issues, but only after an injury. So you injure yourself, forget about getting that back. SMA is very... When you're born, if you're born with type 2, type 3, and even technically type 1, you're born, you're all right for a week or 2, maybe a month or 2, or maybe, in my case, 6 or 8 months, and you're okay. And then all of a sudden, in the space of 2 or 3 weeks, everything goes. And that includes your ability to sit up, hold your head up. For me, anyway, that was the ability to sit on the head. Couldn't take any weight through my legs, anything like that was gone. And it happens very quickly. That is the damage taking place, the genetic damage. But as you grow, you kind of lose function, but you don't really lose function necessarily because you're degenerating. So I think that's the biggest difference between SMA and most of the other muscular dystrophies.
I mean, if I say, growing up with my brother Andrew, who has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and knowing Duchenne muscular dystrophy very, very deeply, that is something. Duchenne muscular dystrophy is a general decline of the muscles, whereas SMA, as you say, it's an immediate deterioration to a point where it then sort of almost plateaus.
Yeah, so you kind of, certainly for me, you kind of have a
So you're not weaker now than you were 10 years ago?
My muscles have the same strength, but there's a lot more weight for them to carry. And that's the best way to explain it. So I had a very bumpy childhood. My lungs took the brunt of every attack. There was 1 year I was in for 2 weeks, out for 2 weeks, in for 2 weeks, out for 2 weeks. And that was monotonous until the point where we said, right, enough's enough. My airways clearly aren't opening and clearing themselves properly. Let's start non-invasive ventilation nocturnally, permanently. And at that point, I had already been on non-invasive ventilation for 2 collapsed lungs, where I was too sick to move to intensive care. Nobody really wanted to do it, so they just stuck our mask on instead. But that, that sort of episode can kill you, and it very nearly did me. Certainly the doctors in charge said it's not up to us, it's up to me. Not that I know. But you have a really bumpy childhood, you get your spine fused. Well, in my day, you got a fuse at about 11. Nowadays, they can put growth rods in to keep your spine straight and make them longer as you get bigger, which actually works incredibly well. And then you get to about 15 or 16, and you stop growing. Your lungs are not fully mature. Your immune system is almost at maturity. It hits maturity at the age of 21. And all of a sudden, everything starts to settle down. You're not going to get any weaker, in theory, unless you do what I did and crash and twist your foot 180 degrees the wrong way. And so something like that causes damage. But generally speaking, that's it. You've plateaued. So as an adult with SMA, if you have type 2, type 1, very strong type 1, or some of the weaker type 3s, once you've hit adulthood, that's it. All you've got to do is maintain. You've got to hold yourself there. And for as long as you can do that, it's good. Yeah. There's always going to be another cold and another pneumonia, another bacteria you're going to catch. But those can be dealt with, and by that point you're used to dealing with them. Yeah. Not for me anyway. So yeah, it is. It's about that plateau, but I think that's a benefit in many ways.
No, and I don't think we could finish the chat talking about SMA Awareness Day 2017 without mentioning the amazing developments that have happened in the last year, notably in the last year, but obviously building up through the years to that. How do you feel about everything? Because all the talk is always on Duchenne muscular dystrophy and the breakthroughs in that with research, whereas I feel like silently SMA has actually just been powering through with drugs that we could consider magical.
I was going to say, I hate to say this, but I mean it. I promise you, the research that has been done into SMA will change Duchenne's lives. Because we have... And
that's where we see the crossover.
We have the most incredible conditions. Yeah. You know, there was actually research funded for Duchenne, not too long ago, because I read about this year. It didn't work for Duchenne, but it did work for SMA. We have a drug that works for SMA. It's still very early, well, reasonably early in trials. Phase 1 has been kind of announced, so it's excellent. There's no denying it. It's a gene therapy. It's delivered in an AAV virus, so it gets, they deliver it actually in type 1 children into the bloodstream, and it crosses the blood-brain barrier with ease. And it I can't tell you the results that it has had for young babies that have just been diagnosed. They're just starting to show some of the symptoms. They're walking by the time they're a year old. These are kids with type 1, these are kids dead by the time they're a year old. So we have incredible results there, but that will translate. It will go across into Duchenne as well, and we're just starting to see CRISPR being used with Duchenne, and it's working really well. What we work with is delivering a whole new gene into the cell. We're not fixing anything that's already there. We're just adding another gene in, and it's phenomenal. We also have Spinraza, which is under this one too. So Spinraza is an antisense oligonucleotide. It's slightly different, but it's really providing that time that families need until we can get the gene therapy up and running.
No, absolutely. I guess rounding off the episode for SMA Awareness Month, what would you say? If you just want to say, hey, this is, someone's watching who knows nothing about SMA, I guess.
I mean, I suppose there's two things to say. One, to parents with kids who've maybe just been diagnosed this year. Don't freak out. Your kids will lead you the way. I've had quite a few messages this year from moms who have been pregnant, or their kids are starting to ask difficult questions, and I go, what am I meant to answer with? And my answer is always the truth. No, don't get me wrong, don't tell a 4-year-old their life expectancy is already past. Yeah. But, tell a 4-year-old the truth. Yeah, they can't walk, their muscles to work. Yeah. But you can do whatever you want to do. And, that child will, there is a story about a child wanting to dance and wanting to know if their baby sister or brother was going to be able to dance. And I'm like, well, that child can too, just in a different way. Yeah. SMA kids are renowned for their adaptability and their flexibility and their desire to find creative solutions to things that adults think are horrific. So take your lead from your child. But if you don't know about SMA, don't freak out either. It's the same as anything else. Something can go wrong with any one of us in the human race at any point in time. Just so happens ours is genetic, and more often than not very obvious very early on. So treat us like human beings, because that's what we are. Just with a bit of a funky gene. with one letter missing. One letter was missing, and this happens. But yeah, you're just, people are humans at the end of the day, and that's what we need to be treated as. And
just a bit of health points. It's just a bit of health differences. That's all.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
Yeah. We'll release some of those, some of the SMA stats. We've already had a couple of the SMA facts from your part. So yeah, we'll be putting up more of those as well, and maybe another episode before the month's out.
Yeah, I'm sure we can. Yeah. Awareness have released some like really interesting news today, so you never know, we might have more clarification by the end of the month what's actually happening.
Definitely.
Will it be 2018 or it'll be 2020, but it's very exciting.
Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you real soon. Bye. Bye.